and welcome to our new Patreon special at Kenny Potter Expecto Patreona! Woo! I'm Candy Machine and I'm joined by Stig and Kenny Potter himself, Oodles.
Hello.
Hello.
So this is a Patreon only show, but just to get you one dipped in, we're releasing this one into the wild. Our first episode goes out to everyone for free. So each episode we're going to be talking about the films in order. So the first episode we will be talking about the Philosopher's Stone, not the Sorcerer's Stone, Philosopher's Stone. Very interesting point there that we'll get into. And let's just get straight into it. So Kenny Potter, tell us the story of film 1, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone.
So here's my quick recap. Basically, a guy comes down on a flying motorbike onto a street and pling, pling, he plings the lights or something like that. Or one of the other guys plings the lights with magic. And I'm like, all right, I'm in for a romp now. And then I see Robbie Coltrane. I'm like, bang into that. Love that. And he drops a baby off outside someone's new build. I'm like, okay. And then the titles, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, flash up on screen. We're in.
No.
And it does on mine. It flashes up on screen, and then we cut to a little bit later on, and we got a young boy, Harry Potter, who we learn to know. Such a baby Daniel Radcliffe. He lives under stairs, and he's just abused by his family. I'm not going to get into too much detail on my little recap, but Stig will get into that. He's in an abusive relationship with his family, adopted. I think it's. I might be wrong. I don't know if it's his mum's mate or his mum's sister, but one of those. Anyway, he ends up falling into a snake tank, or his brother or his cousin or whatever falls into a snake tank, and the snake's going. That were cool, but I'm terrified of snakes. Then he gets sick of these letters coming through chimney, so they go to a really weird island, and then Robbie Coltrane turns up. What's his name? Hagrid. Hagrid turns up and says, "You're a wizard." "No, I'm not. I'm just Harry. You're a wizard." And then he takes him off to wizard school, and they have adventures in wizard school. He meets up with Roger and Hermione, and they have a great time. They eat loads of chocolate and frog. There's a chocolate frog that jumps out of the train. They get to school and they put the sorting hat on. Gryffindor! And they find out that they're in Gryffindor because there's 4 houses or something. I know that from the game. Then a troll, and he gets a wand up its nose. And then there's a guy with a turban on. And then there's Snape. Professor Snape, Alan Rickman, he's evil. He's proper evil, and he just hates Harry Potter, big style. Like can't stand him, hates him. And he tries to kill him on his broom when he's playing cricket, that one. That broom, cribbage.
Dig, you can do it.
If you haven't worked this out, our listeners, Oodles has never seen these before. He's trying to piece all this together.
Cribbage. He's playing cribbage, and Snape's trying to, and then Hermione flings fire at him. That stops him. And then just loads of adventures. They find out they have to get this Philosopher's Stone, even though it's called the Sorcerer's Stone on the version I watched, from some like John Flamel or something like that. And they have to go under the castle to play chess, and there's keys. And it turns out, oh my God, that it's not Snape that's the baddie. It's the guy with the turban on, and underneath his turban is a little baby, like Quato from Total Recall. And that little baby is like, "Oh, Harry Potter!" It's Voldemort, the Dark Lord of the world. And Voldemort tries to get Harry, but Harry touches him and he melts. And it ends, and then he has to go back home, and it's sad. The end.
That's it. Thanks for tuning in.
Yep, that's it.
10 out of 10 review.
Yeah, that's it. I think I hit every point there. Every beat.
Yeah, for sure. The real subtle nuances.
Right, what we're going to do now, though, is actually take you through the plot, take Oodles through the plot, and we're going to discuss the differences between the movie and
the books.
Because Candy and myself...
You're the experts.
Read the books, listened to the audiobooks, seen the films.
Watched the plays and everything, haven't you?
Mm-hmm.
Wrote the theme tune, sang the theme tune.
You're a proper witches, you two.
I'm a wizard.
Wizard, sorry, yeah. Wizard.
She's a witch.
I am a witch.
Yeah. And then we're gonna talk about what we liked about the film, and on future episodes we'll be ranking them as well, which is personal favourites and stuff like that. Even the books probably rank differently to the films as well. I'm assuming they probably will, but it's going to be a great Potter time, and it's nice to be integrated into a new universe to me, because I've known nothing about this, and as you can tell on my synopsis, that was off the cuff, off my head. I didn't use the notes for that. I wrote notes on other stuff. So there you go. That's how much it meant to me.
So yeah, where do we start? Shall we start right from the beginning, where they're dropping off at a
The
young
real
Harry?
beginning.
It all started when he was a baby. Literally.
So, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone.
I remember you told me off about this the other week, because the Americans couldn't pronounce philosopher.
No, it's something to do with the word. They didn't know what it was. In test screenings, or like when the books came out.
Hey man, what is a philosopher? Don't like that, man.
I mean, it makes sense either way, but it's the Philosopher's Stone because that's what it was called in the UK, and that's what we're going with. So, the film came out in 2001, directed by Christopher Columbus, and starring every British character actor
ever
you could think of.
I didn't realise how British this was. I know it's a British production and it's made in Britain. Wow. This is almost like exclusively British, this first one. I don't know how further it goes on, but this is like Britain.
That was by design by J.K. Rowling. She insisted it.
Right, okay.
Because I remember when it first came out, everyone wanted Haley Joel Osment to play Harry Potter. There's an outcry when he wasn't.
Have you seen him nowadays?
Oh, he's friend-shaped. I love him.
Friend-shaped. God.
Yeah, and Robin Williams wanted to play Hagrid.
Really?
Oh, I didn't know that.
I kind of could have seen it. He's just not big like Robbie Coltrane. He's a big guy anyway.
Even Robbie Coltrane still wore a suit.
Yeah.
Big suit. But you could see it. I could see him doing a Hagrid. But,
I could.
All the cast had to be British. So
nice.
Or British and Irish.
Yeah.
Yeah, so obviously it stars Daniel Radcliffe, Rupert Grint, and Emma Watson as newcomers, and then a whole host of people: Robbie Coltrane, Warwick Davies, Richard Griffiths, Richard Harris, Ian Hart, John Hurt, Alan Rickman, Maggie Smith, Julie Walters.
What a cast!
Yeah,
so many of them not with us anymore as well. Such a shame, like a trip down memory lane. They're all such like fantastic.
I was watching this, and like I was like, fucking hell, Richard Harris is Merlin or whatever he's called. I was like, oh my god, he's really what a good pull to get like the headmaster as Richard Harris. But I know he died in about 2004. So it's like, what the fuck's gonna happen to Merlin? You know what I mean?
Dumbledore.
Looks like Merlin though, doesn't he?
Yeah, I mean that's
this iteration
based off, isn't it? Just a standard old wizard man.
Old wizard man, yeah. Really good.
Yeah, so as we'll go through the plot, we'll talk about differences. Late one night, Albus Dumbledore and he arrives on Privet Drive. Minerva McGonagall is there as a cat. And basically they miss out everything from the start of the book here.
Do they?
Yeah. So there's a chapter at the start of the book which focuses on the Dursleys, and he's wandering around while people are cheering and weird things are going off. Weird people in robes, fireworks setting off, owls flying around in the day. Weird things are happening.
And the Dursleys are the family that adopt Harry, aren't they?
They're given. They're given
No choice. Yeah.
So yeah, I kind of get why. I think this is a better opener. I think this is a better cold opener with just Harry arriving with Hagrid. Hagrid brings Harry on the flying motorbike, and they pass him over to the Dursleys.
That's badass.
I think it's a lot better than having. I think it works better for me personally. I've just listened to the books recently, and I think it works better having just this as the opener.
Yeah,
It is kind of is a cold open, and I like it. It's quite to the point. It reminds me of some of the openings to James Bond films, where it starts really cold opening. Something happens. There's a succinct beginning, middle, and end to the opening, and then we cut forward to the actual plot. I liked it. I really did like it.
Yeah, and then we literally skip ahead to so Harry's left there. We found out that Voldemort has died.
Yes.
And that's why everyone's celebrating in the books. But then we skip ahead to Harry. It's his 11th birthday. Just before his 11th birthday, sorry.
Dudley's birthday.
It's Dudley's birthday.
Oh, he's a dick.
Yep. And he lives under the stairs. So what did you think about the fact that this kid lived under the stairs?
At first, I thought, oh, he's got a den under the stairs. It's there. You know what I mean? I wasn't 100% convinced that was the baby I saw. Do you know what I mean? It took me a few seconds to realize, oh, yeah, that. And I know Daniel Radcliffe is Harry Potter. But it also took me a few minutes to realize that's a baby Daniel Radcliffe. I'm like, where's his stubble? Where's his stubble gone? You know what I mean? I'm used to seeing Daniel Radcliffe, the actor. And he's under the stairs. And I thought, no, that's where he lives. They fucking lock him in. Yeah. I mean, if Child Protective Services found out about that, those guys would be done. Even in 2000s.
I generally don't know how they actually got away with it.
I don't.
Because he wears all Dudley's old clothes.
They're too big for him.
Yeah. Like, as soon as he gets up, they're like, make breakfast, do this, do that.
Yeah, he's literally like a house servant. And unfortunately, they did used to put house servants under stairs or in basements and stuff like that. It's like, oh, come on, this is awful. And it's a very clever way, especially because I remember this is a children's film. It's a very clever way of establishing that the Dursleys are baddies. They are not people you're supposed to be rooting for. And it's very subtle and very clever. I like it.
Yeah, it's not as subtle when Dudley is like, why are there only 37 presents?
Yeah, he's just an awful, awful little shite. He should be under the stairs.
Yeah. So yeah, they head off to the zoo. I'm not going to keep going too much into the book differences, because this film kind of sticks to the book, doesn't it? As best it can. There's a few differences, but
I think most of all of them, this one sticks to it the closest, and it would do because it's the shortest, so it's probably the easiest to do.
Yeah, but here, he actually brings his friend along, and Harry was not meant to come with them. It's just the woman that was looking after them. She was ill or broke a leg or something, so they have to bring Harry along with them.
Right,
and they always say about how he does things, weird things happen around Harry, and he doesn't know why. And then obviously we get the weird thing happening in the reptile house where the glass disappears.
It's mad that. What the hell?
And he can talk to snakes.
Is that what he's doing?
So that's just an example of him sort of not unknowingly sort of losing control of his magic, but not knowing that he's a wizard. He doesn't realise.
So magic is like an inherent thing in that universe then? Like you're born with magic? Or can you study magic and become... I'm pretty sure...
You're born with
it. What's her name? Hermione mentions that she's not like a wizard or something, a witch or something, and she's studied it. She's that good at being a human. She's born... Or is there always inherent magic in you? Are you that kind of... Is it just like...
Yes. You're born with it, and even people who don't have witches and wizards as parents can have it in them, which is what Hermione is. She's a muggle who has the ability to do magic.
They're very accepting of the letters that they receive, though, aren't they? The parents, because I think that Hermione at some point says, "Oh, my parents were so proud when I got my letter." Like, imagine getting a letter out of the blue, like your son's off to a wizard school. You throw it in the bin.
Yeah, through the chimney as well.
Yeah, you would throw it in the bin. You'd be like, "No, she's going to high school to do her GCSEs."
Yeah, she's clever at school. She's gonna. Like, did Harry Potter go to normal school?
Yes.
Right, because I weren't sure about this.
We'll get into this in a future episodes.
Right, okay.
About the differences between what kids do in the wizarding world between 1 and 11.
They do nothing. Okay.
Yeah. So they get back from the zoo.
The proper bollock him, even though how can you tell it's him? You've done this.
Uncle Vernon kind of he knows about the wizarding world.
Both of
Yeah,
them.
because-
Both of them do. Yeah.
But both
That's
of
why
them
he's
do,
so
yeah.
like accepting of the letter. Not accepting, but like, oh, this is happening. Is that why he's not
Yeah.
like more scared?
That's why he knows when he looks at that letter, when we do
knows what it
get the
is.
letter, he knows what it is. It's because Aunt Petunia
Right.
is it's Harry. She's Harry's aunt, and her sister is Harry's mum.
Right.
So
Okay, so they know about that world in a sense.
yes,
Right. Okay. That explains a lot. Because I was like, why are they just so mean to him? What's he done
Yeah.
wrong? He's such a
well,
sweetheart.
she does explain this in the hut.
Yes, she does. She does.
So yeah, so next day he wakes up, Harry gets a letter, gets his first letter from Hogwarts, which when Uncle Vernon sees it, takes it off him, refuses to give it him.
Yep.
And then just more and more and more
Yep.
letters start to arrive.
Do you know what's mad? When I was looking at the address, it said Privet Drive, didn't it? I used to live
Yeah.
at number 2 Privet Drive years ago.
Did you not see how the owls come in?
Didn't know about Harry Potter. No one mentioned it to me. There's probably loads of Privet Drives, though, isn't there?
Yeah. And this kind of so this kind of drives Uncle Vernon a bit nuts, and he starts to barricade the door. It doesn't work. Like I love the bit. It's just like no post on Sundays.
Yeah.
Right? Do you know when he said that? Like, my wife said this. I've been with my wife for 11 years, and she always says the best thing about Sundays is no post on Sundays, and I never knew where that was from. And I looked at her and she went. I went, yeah, we never get bills on Sunday, and it's so.
Sunday's a
was like-
safe day.
Oh God, that is a line that is a T-shirt line that's such a good moment.
I love it. I just love it the way he says it. His
Yeah,
face.
he's
just
so
like-
happy.
Sundays.
with his biscuit. No post on Sundays.
Yeah. He's obviously
such
Amazon
good-
Prime didn't exist back then because you still get Prime on Sundays.
Imagine if you got Amazon Prime your letter. But they're such good actors, aren't they?
They're brilliant.
Petunia and Vernon Dursley.
Mm,
So good.
I think
So
they're fantastic.
hateable.
The very what's that thing? He's behind you. What's that word that they call pantomime? Pantomime.
Very. Yeah, they are.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Very sort of comic relief a little bit.
Yeah, I love to hate them. Do you know what I mean? I like that they exist in that universe.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
I
that's why Vernon's trying to kind of suppress these letters. He doesn't want Harry to
'Cause
know
he
anything. He
knows.
just doesn't want anything to do with the wizarding world. Nothing.
Do they fear the wizards then? Is that what it is? Well, I mean, don't future spoil it. Don't future
I
spoil
think
it.
they're just kind of. I think they just kind of think they're freaks, don't they? It's more like that. Just they don't understand the world.
They're
more-
different to
more
us.
so
We
than
don't
fear
like
it.
them. That kind of thing. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah. So then they obviously go off.
They go
again
to
in the
like
middle of
the weirdest fucking shack in the middle of like the Scottish Sea, in the North
It's gonna
Sea.
be like an Airbnb or something.
It looks dangerous.
like it's because in the books they do go to a few different places first.
Oh, do
And
they?
they
So
keep
that's
getting
just desperate.
He keeps getting followed, so he thinks if he gets away to the furthest part away, there's no roads, there's no nothing.
Literally looks like the centre of the North Sea.
Yeah, no one can come get us here. So yeah, they end up in this horrible little shack in the middle of the sea.
Yeah.
And as Harry turns 11, he gives himself a little dust dust cake on the floor.
Oh,
Happy
that broke my
birthday,
heart a
Harry.
little bit. That.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a big knock at the door.
Yes.
The door gets knocked down, and in steps Rubius Hagrid, half
He
giant.
is massive. I didn't think he was
Mhm.
that big at first, but he is massive. He's got like size 40 shoes.
Yeah, he's massive. So he's a half giant.
Yes, they
That's
mentioned
what he
it.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just imagine how that worked.
Oh, who's who? Was his dad small? Was his mum big? Was his mum small and his dad? Oh my God, I don't want to think about it. Or do I?
Yeah, and this is the moment where he tells Harry that he's a wizard.
It's a really good it's like a really subtle trailer moment, but without it being trailer moment. I think Chris Columbus really does these like pivotal moments really well in this. He says, "You're a wizard, Harry," and it's like it's so resonant. There's a little bit of a musical cue in the background that makes your hair stand up on ends and stuff like that. Like if you didn't know this world, like I didn't, and obviously I know it's about magic and stuff, but that is a moment. That's a Star Wars "I am your father" moment. That is a big moment.
What I also really like
Yeah,
about the scene is it goes from so threatening, you don't know who's at the door, you hear this huge boom, the door comes down, you see this massive menacing figure, and it takes a split second for him to like look up and be like, "All right, lads, how you doing?" kind of thing.
He
Like
picks
it
the
can just
door up
completely
as well.
change. Yeah, sorry about
Yeah.
that.
He's such an oaf. He's great.
Yeah,
I like him a lot. I've got a lot of time for Hagrid.
but
But
you can
even,
just
like-
immediately tell how warm he is.
Yeah,
towards Harry.
Yeah. But if you were like the Dursleys, you would be scared. This man, he's massive. And then when Harry informs them that, oh, well, my parents died in a car crash, and that
He was
really
fuming, weren't he?
pisses him off. Yeah,
How dare you lie to him? That kind of thing. They were heroes
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
it's like you've never told him about where he comes from, and that's the moment we find out. Petunia's just like, of course not. Like, my sister was a freak. Why would I want to tell him about that?
Yeah. In my head, then I thought, is she jealous that she wasn't a witch?
Oh, massively.
Yeah.
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 I mean, that's how I always put it. That's how I always thought it before.
Yeah.
Try not to get into too much things, but like,
Yeah.
I always read it as her just being massively jealous that.
Yeah, because she would.
Yeah, she got to go to this special school. She got to learn
Always
magical
the
powers
Padawan, never
and-
the Jedi, that kind of thing. You know what I mean? It's
yeah,
just-
and she just ended up with Vernon.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So Harry just basically fucks off with Hagrid.
Mm.
Like, he's very trusting of Hagrid, isn't he?
I think
Yeah, but when
there
you're
is
in
a
that
difference.
situation, you go with anyone.
Yeah, I was about to
Yeah,
say there's a
that's
difference to
true.
this. It's the lesser of two evils. Do you join this man? He's got a fucking motorbike that flies, or do you stay with your absolutely horrendous cousin who you just want to fucking drown, and his mum and dad? So, and I think Harry's. I mean, this is just from his personality in this film. He's quite a actions before thinking kind of lad. He's just like, yeah, I'm up for it, because he's had
Yeah.
such a.
He is.
I mean,
he
I
does-
don't know if
that
he
shows
has.
later in the film, though. That does show later in this film
Yeah.
with the broomsticks and stuff.
Yes,
Actually,
it does.
You really hit the nail on the head there throughout all of the books. I think that's the thing. That's something that follows him around.
Yeah, and it seems like I mean, I don't know if it subtly implies that kid were beat and stuff, and he was just absolutely, maybe not physically, but beaten down mentally, and just. It's like if you're in prison, say you can stay in this prison, or you can come and work for me outside of prison. You're just gonna go and work for somebody else outside of prison, aren't you? You know what I mean? You're gonna do it. It's fucking. I'd have gone, and they go to London.
Yeah, it's never been to London before.
Never
and
been.
Never been on the tube, and
No.
it's actually a deleted scene here they took out, which has Hagrid and Harry on the tube.
That big monster on the tube.
Yeah, that's the funny part about it.
Bent
It's
down
like
like that.
big massive man sat on the tube, and everyone's just looking at him like, "What the hell?"
Because he's not dressed normal either.
You
No.
just wouldn't look if you were in London, would you? Just eyes down. Just don't look.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, so we go into this is kind of where this is the moment we venture into the actual wizarding world. We go into the Leaky Cauldron.
That pub reminds me of a pub I used to go to in Wakefield.
Oh yeah, full of probably old boys and
Old boys and just wooden floors.
yeah.
And everyone's staring.
Someone
at
new
you.
comes in and everyone stares. Yeah,
It's so cool. I was like, I'd go there for a stout.
yeah. And he meets everyone, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, it's Harry Potter!"
Yeah.
So Harry Potter he's famous in this world.
I didn't know anything about this. This were a proper shock to me. Like, it's kind of, we're going to get into it. He's mega famous just for being who he is and what he did without realising or having any privy to it whatsoever. And he's loaded.
Hmm.
Yeah,
He's fucking rich.
rich parents and
Yeah.
10 years of interest, I guess.
Yeah. I was like, the film could have ended there and gone, and he lived happily ever after. I was like, I'm cool with that. That's a great like twist. Like, if only his adopted family just accepted who he was, they'd have lived a better life as well. It's
Yeah.
a shame.
They would have. But I guess that's the whole point, isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
if they just accepted him, then it
Yeah.
would have been better for all of them.
Exactly.
You meet Professor Quirrell here. This is our first introduction of Professor Quirrell, who's nervous, stuttering, flinching, won't touch Harry. Don't know if you picked up on that when you first.
I didn't know. But now it makes sense. I know why you can't touch him.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
But in the book, he shakes Harry's hand.
Does he?
Mm.
Oh.
So when I read that, I said read, listen to it. When Stephen Fry read it to me, I was like, hang on, that doesn't make sense.
Because you know the ending.
It does later on, though. There's a.
Do you know what I thought about Professor Squirrel, or whatever Quirrell, is I just thought that is not a character I need to focus on. That is not a character I need to think about at all. It's very good how they did that. That is not even a twist. It's a bait and switch, isn't it?
Yeah, they don't. That's the whole point. It's like no one was suspecting.
It's just this nervous Nancy, like, oh, Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Oh. He's a bit like what's his name from Blackadder? You know the camp one. I forgot his name. You know what I mean? Really shy.
The original Blackadder.
No,
first series 1.
No,
No,
like the later series. Yeah.
Yeah, so then we go into Diagon Alley, and this is kind
Is
of
that,
like...
what's it called? Diagon... Diagon Alley?
Yeah, so as in
I didn't know they were
diagonally.
saying that. I thought they were saying diagonally.
Well, that's the kind of word
Is that the
play on it.
joke? Diagon,
Diagon Alley. Yeah.
Right, okay. Right, I need to pick up on these things, because, like, that is a cool street, mate. That is a cool street.
Almost everything in Potter is named in a cool way, like the streets, the teachers, and everything. Like a lot of it comes from Latin and everything, and like actual like figures of the past.
Yeah. I mean, the whole thing's about the Philosopher's Stone, which is a historical thing. It's a real thing.
Nicholas Flamel, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Seems to be the only high street within the wizarding world, though.
Yeah, actual high street where you can go and pick up stuff, not just like a little pub in town.
And a charity shop.
Wizarding
charity
Greg's.
shop. Wizard Greg's.
Wizard Greg's. Yeah, Wizard Poundland or the Balloon Land or whatever they call it. I don't know what the currency is. But yeah, I really like this, and this is what they should do for theme parks. That bit.
If only somebody had thought of that.
Oh, fuck off. I didn't know.
Literally, there is the
Is that
theme
what it
park
is?
and the studios. You can walk
Is that
through
what
it all,
it
yeah.
is?
Yeah.
Because, of course, it's such a cool bit. And it looks like a lot of it's not CG. This looks like really good sets.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Really good sets. Like, you could walk into that shop and there is the guy that gives you a wand.
Well, I've been to the studio. You've been to the studio.
Oh,
Andy, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
you
think-
walk through all that.
There's
Is
so
it people
many
working
practical
and
effects.
stuff?
No, but the sets are all there that you can kind of walk
It's a shame,
through.
innit?
Although I
It's a
do
shame
have
they're
a fact about that. A lot of the people that work at the Harry Potter studios, or certainly when it first opened, were people that worked on the films whilst it was being filmed there. And as soon as
Badass.
the films were over, they didn't have a job.
Keep
and
your
they
job.
Yeah, they did. They just moved them into the cafe, moved them into caretaking, everything.
Badass.
Yeah.
So cool. I'd work there.
Nice. Yeah, this is obviously where we found out that Harry is loaded.
Yeah,
Goes to
absolutely
Gringotts.
minted.
Gringotts is obviously the wizarding bank run by the goblins. They have everything there.
I knew about this because of the game.
Yeah, it's one of the, like as Hagrid says, it's one of the safest places that you could.
Yeah, no one fucks with Gringotts.
No. And you go on the little cart ride,
Yeah.
gets his gold. Then Hagrid goes and gets the Philosopher's Stone, which at the time we don't know what it is. He just
Picks
parcel.
something up, doesn't he?
Yeah, official Hogwarts business.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, me
He's
Baba.
proud as punch. He's proud as punching the Hagrid when he's like that. I'm
Yeah.
on here. I'm on official Hogwarts business.
He's like he's been given that
Yeah.
mission, hasn't he? Like, this is the best mission ever, Hagrid, and I'm trusting you with this mission. And he's so proud as punch. He's so happy that, because I found out later on he's just like a caretaker or something, isn't he? Or like a groundskeeper or something.
Groundkeeper, yeah.
Yeah, so he's got such a low ranking in the actual castle, but he's on a big old mission. And if you were, what's the name of the headmaster? If you were the headmaster, you would Dumbledore. You would send your biggest man down there to procure that, as well as Harry.
Yeah. Exactly. Harry's the other mission. He's not only there just getting the stone, he's getting Harry as well. So
And he knows he's got a fucking bike.
Yeah, his best day ever.
Absolutely.
So yeah, he then sends Harry off to go get his wand, and goes off to go get him. He says, "I'll leave you here. I'm going to go get something else." And he leaves Harry.
That bit, I was like, whoa, don't leave him. He's 10-year-old.
So in the book, another little in the book moment here.
Yeah.
He actually leaves him in the tailor's to get his wizarding robes, and this is where he first meets Malfoy.
The little blonde one.
Draco, yeah. This is their first interaction where they're in the shop getting measured up together.
Yeah, and he is a fucking bell end him.
Yeah, but they took that out. They took that out
horrible.
and just had him like meet him in the castle. So
He's like, "Oh, Potter, you're a smelly little twat, aren't you?" He's
No, he tries to
awful.
make friends with him to begin with. He tries to get.
Yes,
him
he
on board,
does at
doesn't
first. He doesn't like the ginger one. He don't like him. You
No.
must be Roger.
Roger.
Yeah.
Ginger hair,
Yeah.
hand-me-down robes. You're a Weasley.
Roger
Yeah.
Weasley, that's it.
So yeah, but in this, they just went straight to the one shop. Ollivander's,
I love the one bit.
played by John Hurt.
Yeah. And an alien doesn't come out of his chest.
No,
Or a wand.
and obviously this is an important part of the
Yeah, the
Everything,
music,
really.
the mood changes, everything. This is like him picking his lightsaber and stuff. This is a massive moment.
yeah, and it's obviously the whole point. The wand he picks is the twin of Voldemort's wand.
Yeah, it's Voldemort, and it's like curious, very how odd that is the wand that is it killed his parents or did something to his parents.
The feather, the phoenix, the feather. The phoenix where the feather came from, it gave 2 feathers, and one was in Voldemort's
that's
wand.
it.
And
I
one's in
love
his.
that. I fucking love that shit. That shit's magic to me, and pun intended. I love that. Like, I thought you just went in, I like the look of that one, I'll have that wand. Because that's what I did in the game. I just picked it because it looked cool.
Yeah, no, it's already setting up the connection. Which I liked.
Yeah, I don't know, but currently in my head, there seems to be. I mean, don't even say I'm wrong or right. I think Voldemort's his dad. That's how I see it. That's how I think that's what the connection is. I think that's Harry Potter's dad, and people just don't want to admit it. That's why he who shall not be named. Don't let Harry know.
Voldemort Potter.
Voldemort Potter. That's it. That's where my head's going anyway. But I might be wrong.
That's fine. I'm quite interested to hear them. I'll try not to, like, when you do things like that, give anything away.
That's why I think the wand was so significant. It's like that's why the feather is it's chosen you because your dad had this as well. That kind of thing.
Like, when I read the books, there's certain things that I thought, oh, that's clearly that. That's clearly that. Just didn't turn out to be that, or did turn out to be like that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, so it's fine. I'm really interested to hear what you think. Like, is leading into things. I think that'd be really interesting.
Oh, it's happening, mate. I've got them all written down.
Hagrid returns, gives him Hedwig.
Yep.
His owl.
Love that. I love that for him. I love that he's got an owl.
Yeah, Hedwig's great.
Yeah, it's cool.
And then he gets dropped off at King's Cross. He has to go to platform 9 3/4.
Which I have seen that plaque in real life.
Yeah.
And I just didn't understand it. I was like, what? And now I know why people are pushing their trolleys into the wall. Because I've seen it so many times. I'm like, what is going on? I knew it was related to Harry Potter because it says on the plaque. But, oh my God. Can people see this happening? Can humans see this happening?
No.
Or is that the beauty of magic? You can just say they can't see it.
Yeah, basically, they can't see what's going on.
It's clever. I think it's clever. People said that's lazy writing. I think that's clever writing.
I like it. But what I do think is a bit silly is that Hagrid didn't tell him what to do.
He didn't.
Just goes to platform 9 3/4.
And you would think that he would notice him fucking off as well. Like, fucking 12-foot man.
This little boy that was raised a human. It's like, you know what to do. You know what to do. No, I don't. And 24 hours ago, I was on the North Sea with my crazy family. Fucking hell, put me some slack.
Asks the conductor, doesn't he? And he's just like,
what you on about?
Gets a bit grumbled by. So this is very similar to the book, is where he overhears the Weasleys coming and he overhears something. What I don't like in the film is the way that Molly Weasley just goes, platform 9 3/4, just this way. Like, it's like the kids know. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's a line that just sticks out there that it's for the audience because
especially as there was some older kids that have done it before.
Yeah, they all know it. They all know what to do.
They've done it before.
I think it would have made more sense if he'd seen them do it and then gone up to them and said that. But in the book, he does overhear them and then kind of joins on.
I think it's because in the books that he overhears them say muggles, doesn't he?
Yeah, he hears the word muggles.
They mention muggles in the film. They say stuff about muggles. Sure they do.
Yeah, no, she does say muggles. She goes, always full of muggles. Yeah. But then it was just the line of platform 9 3/4, just this way. Like,
and they're all strangely ginger, like to the point where it's like, that's silly. That's silly.
No, they're all a ginger family. Mum and dad are both ginger.
I know, but I know ginger families now, and they're not all Candy's hair colour, like dyed hair colour. These are all clearly not ginger people in real life. maybe one or two of them are, and they just gingered them up.
You can tell a proper ginger because they've got ginger faces.
Exactly.
You don't get a lot of them in this film, but what did you make of Fred and George just in that small interaction? Can you see?
Who were them? Them twins.
The twins, yeah.
I thought about them too because they're in the film a tiny bit. They seem like they're a bit baddies. They seem like they're a bit mischievous, a bit naughty. Like they've got like an ulterior motive, and they're a bit older, aren't they? I don't know how much older they are. 2 years, I think. And there's something about them too that I can't quite put my finger on. I don't know if they're bad, but I think they're proper chaotic. They've got a chaotic nature to them, just from how they look at each other, and they seem to be the kind of twins that play tricks on the girlfriends, like pretend you're me and go and kiss her. They seem like them buggers, them naughty boys.
Well, they do that with the mum, don't they? That's the joke. They trick them. It's just like, you can't even tell us apart. And he's like, only joking. I am Fred, and then runs off.
Yeah, I'm all right with them. I just. They're people in real life. I'd be like, I'm keeping you at arm's length because I don't know if I fucking trust you yet. That's why. But I'm that kind of. I'm quite pragmatic with stuff. I'm like, there's too much character. There's a lot of character development in such small amount of time with them too. There's something there. They're coming back.
Yeah, right. So we'll move on. We obviously Harry gets through to the platform. We have the big reveal of the Hogwarts Express,
and the mum is really nice to Harry. The ginger mum.
She is.
She's lovely to him, and I think
she doesn't know who he is either at that point.
Yeah, she doesn't know who he is, and when they find out, because is he like the most famous wizard in the world? Would you say?
Well, second probably to Voldemort.
To his dad, yeah.
He's like the guy who stopped the evil. Like it's like the guy who stopped Darth Vader. Do you know what I mean? Like that's the equivalent.
Yeah. Of course, yeah. It makes sense. He would be a folk hero at the very minimum.
Yeah, exactly. Regardless. I mean, he didn't know anything about it. It just happened to be what happened.
I like it. I didn't know this story had that kind of subplot to it. I didn't know it had a Messiah like subplot to it or anything like that. It's really cool. Classic literature in a good way.
Yeah. So then we jump onto the Hogwarts Express. Ron joins Harry in the
Ron. Fucking Ron.
Ron.
I keep calling him Rog.
Ron joins him.
Is one of his brother called Roger or something?
No.
Fucking because it's thingy in it. Rupert Grint.
Rupert Grint, yeah.
Roger. That. Ron, and he's a right mucky little fucker, isn't
he? Yeah. Harry selfishly buys the whole cart of sweets.
No, back off. That's a baller move. He's newly rich, and he's like, you know what? Fuck everyone else. I've had enough in my life. He's doing his Andrew Tate moment. He's being the alpha. He's doing it. He's bought the whole thing, and then he's like, bloody hell, Harry. And I like it. I like this train bit, but he's not selfish though, really, is it? Because he gives Ron all that. and frogs and stuff, and I reckon he probably off camera he probably went round the train and went, "Here, I bought all your sweets," because he seems like a nice guy.
Yeah. If
Still
you were
ball
in that situation, would you eat a chocolate frog that moved like that?
No,
No, I
he
find
looks
it-
sentient.
I think I would. I think I would. I don't care.
Imagine if
Candy.
they screamed
I don't
as
eat
well.
meat. Never mind. I don't eat meat, so I'm not going to eat a chocolate version, a living. But it's just enchanted, isn't it? It's not real.
It is enchanted, but the fact that it looks
So real,
moves
and it climbs
makes
up.
noise
It
and-
climbs up the window and flies out and goes.
Yeah, it's like, oh,
It's
shame that.
And I'm watching that with my kids that bit, and they were pissing themselves. I'm like, this is actual, again, pun intended, magic. This is. Why didn't I watch them when they came out? They're in perfect age.
Gets his card of Dumbledore. That's kind of like
Yes.
the first instance of
The
not
Pokemon
showing-
cards.
Yeah, that pictures move. They don't stay there. I
They
like
do.
that line. It's like, well, you can't expect him to stay around all day, can you? Like to
Yeah.
Ron, it's just normal.
It's nothing.
Yeah.
Harry's like, whoa, he's gone. And then Ron's like, well, she's not going to stay there all day, is he?
Yeah. The walk off frame and stuff like that is so fucking cool. And that's
Yeah.
all the way through the film in the background. You can
Yeah.
see him doing stupid things and hanging out of the paintings and picking stuff up and just doing fucking
Visiting
they
each
move
mental.
other.
between them.
Yeah. Oh, I love that.
Then this is where we first meet Hermione. She's trying to find Neville's frog, Toad.
Yep.
And she's like, oh, you do magic? Let's see some then. And this is where you get like, she's a bit, you know what I mean? She's a bit.
She
of a swot,
reminds
isn't
me.
she?
She's a swat. Yeah, she's a spoff, whatever you want to call it. Wherever you come from in the country, there's a word for someone that's very academically forward but socially challenged. Do you know what I
Like,
mean?
she's just, yeah, it's just like the way she's just like, oh, let's see you do magic then. I've been reading about magic. I can do this.
There is. I know. I talk about class a lot, but there is an obvious dynamic with this now as well, because you've got Ron who's lower class, you've got Hermione that seems to be middle class, and then Harry Potter's new money.
Mm.
And there's a really good dichotomy of people like we can still be mates regardless of what we are. And
Yeah.
she's such a brat, but there's no malice in her whatsoever. She's not meaning to be
No,
like.
she isn't
She's 10
mean.
years old.
Not to mention, she's only been allowed to, because you're not allowed to do magic outside of school before you're of age.
So she's never
So
been able to actually see it.
Yeah, she's had a wand for about. She's been allowed to use a wand for about an hour, depending on
Yeah,
how long they've been on the
yeah.
train.
So she's read up about it all. Like she's obviously the theory behind it all. Like she's just
Yeah. She's
so
probably
book
read
smart.
every book going.
Yeah. Although the little line of, you've got dirt on your nose, don't you? As she walks away.
Yeah. They were bugging me the
Right.
whole way through. I'm like, he's got muck on his nose, and Harry's not like, let me just get that for you, pal. Licking his bum, you know what I mean? I would have done. Like, if my mates have got bogies, I'm like, let me just get that for you, pal. Get that bogey from you and flick it away. No, don't eat it, Candy. Don't eat it. Just flick it away. That's what you do when someone's got sleep in their eye. Just come here.
Yeah. They get to the train station. Hagrid takes them off into the boat. This is the first time you get
So
to
does
see the
Hagrid
castle.
drive on his bike then? He must have done. He must have followed train on his bike.
Who
I
knows?
don't think that's not actually addressed, is it? He must have done, because why wouldn't he have stayed with Harry to get to?
And he
Platform Hines
came on a
before?
bike, so he's
Yeah.
not going to leave
Yeah,
it.
he must have gone on the bike.
Because I love that. That's my favourite thing.
There are other ways of getting around, but I think he probably did go on his bike. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, you've played the game, so maybe the
Yes.
reveal of the castle isn't that
It's better in the film.
big and special, or is it? Yeah. Did you?
I think
like
it's
the
better
reveal?
because it does a really good panning shot and the music. Because let me just say, the fucking music in this is insane.
And I think that's the first time you hear
Wow.
that proper Harry Potter theme, isn't it? When
In
the
full,
castle's
in full,
unveiled.
yeah,
Yeah.
you hear it
Yeah.
in full, and then it's got a reprise as well throughout the whole film. There's like a little subtler, gentler version of the, and it's such a good. Is it John Williams?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's, and this is gonna piss people off. I think it's better than Star Wars theme. I think it's such
I
a
think
good.
it's certainly on par. Yeah.
Not all of John Williams' Star Wars films. I mean the main one.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it's got such a good. It's got a good through line in because it's a bit more modern than Star Wars. Where you got reprises, you've got interludes of the actual. I'd love to hear this, an orchestra. You know what I mean? I'd love to.
Oh, I've
hear that.
heard it. It's great.
Yeah.
Oh, I think
Yeah.
it's.
Have you listened to the actual? Listen to the song. It's called Hedwig's Song.
I have done. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fucking stunning.
Because it goes
I-
up and down throughout that whole
does.
piece.
And that's what I mean. It's got a nice reprise. It's got a nice differences and interlude, and it's just such a more modern piece, but it still sounds medieval, magical. And when the panning shot of the first bit of the castle, and you think, nah, we're in. This is it. Nothing's ever... Because all I kept thinking in my head was, nothing is ever going to be the same for Harry Potter. This is the beginning of the rest of his life.
Yeah.
And I think it's the music that goes with that. I was a bit choked up. I'm not going to lie. I was like, fucking hell. And
Yeah,
I
it's a
didn't even know
goosebump moment
this.
for sure.
Yeah, I don't know this world like you guys know. So I bet you guys, if you've read the book before you went to see it, I bet this was fucking mega. But it was huge. But it's beautiful. And the castle's, it's in the dark, isn't it? It's a bit, it's just really, and it's floating candles and, and it again, I'm going to say it again, it's magical.
Yeah.
It's
what it is, isn't it?
It really is.
Yeah, this is obviously, they get to the castle. This is our first introduction to Malfoy.
Yeah.
And his cronies, Crab and Goyle.
Oh, they've got names?
Yeah, this is Crab and this is Goyle.
Oh, right. I didn't catch
probably
up on that.
They're probably like horrible names as well, aren't they?
They look way older than the others.
And our intro to McGonagall as well, who is a fearsome woman.
Love her. Big into it. Maggie Smith.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bang into her. I hope she stays in it.
The way they shoot the bit where Neville loses it, or he finds his toad and he just looks up at McGonagall and she's just
Is that what he's called,
down.
Neville? The guy with the toad?
Yeah.
He is a right doofus, him. He is an absolute doofus.
Yeah, big doofus.
What a guy. He's like, that don't get rid of him. I hope he stays in it, just being an absolute doofus for out. He's Jar Jar Binks of Harry Potter, him. He's brilliant. I'm laughing my tits off at him. He's funny. I like him. What's he called again?
Neville Longbottom.
Neville Longbottom. Yes, I stan Neville Longbottom. I'm putting it out there right now. I stan him big style. He's my boy. Love him.
Well, you'd be disappointed to know that some crucial scenes in this where with Neville were taken out.
Why would you ever take anything out of Neville? I want a film about Neville just on his own.
Yeah,
he's a great guy. I love him.
But that said, this is not spoiling anything. He was given a scene that he was not in one of the other films. Like, he did something another character did in one of the other films.
So he does come back? Yes.
Minor spoiler alert.
We got into the Great Hall. We see the bewitched ceiling, which I always thought was really cool. Like, it's meant to look out like the outside.
Yeah,
so
it's cool.
Those candles as well, was all proper candles hanging. And
Well, there.
Yeah. I think there was an issue to start with. I think originally they tried to use, if I remember this right, I could be wrong, but something to do about trying to use real candles to start with, and they couldn't, so they're all
LEDs.
Fake candles, but they're actually hanging. They're not. It's not CGI. It's like actual hanging.
Yeah, because you can have that thingy wire, can't you? That's invisible to the naked eye. That's cool. And I tell you what, the feasts and stuff like that. Wow.
Another fact on the feasts. They had to work with that because there's so much food. Yeah. Rather than using fake food, it was all real, but it was left there for over the course of 3 days. So
God!
They
had to work around like stinky, dry, warm.
I noticed
hot food.
I wrote some stuff down as well. I noticed there was a key lime pie hidden behind one of the troughs that looked like grape juice, but supposedly wine, or I don't know what fucking wizards drink. There was a really big pile of chips. I was like, yes, they love chips.
No.
So Candy's fucked.
Maybe
there was no
chips
pizza.
Are nice.
There was no pizza.
Everything that I would be like Ron. When the food appears, Ron is just
burgers and everything, weren't there?
Yeah.
I was so good because I thought we were gonna get a Temple of Doom scenario where wizards eat fucking horrible things like monkey brains and stuff. You know what I mean? But no, they just have proper cracking British food, and they were like Yorkshire puddings and everything and roast taters. It was so good.
This is where we get the Sorting Hat scene as well.
Great moment.
We get this introduced to Dumbledore as well as he welcomes everyone to the castle. Two things that missed out here is the Sorting Hat does a poem or a song, which is missed out. And also, there's a Hogwarts song.
Oh, I hate it.
It's awful.
A Hogwarts song?
Yeah, that she missed out. And the Hogwarts
Like a
song
school
is
theme.
a school song. It's like Hogwarts, Hogwarts, Hoggy, Hoggy, Hogwarts. Yeah.
Oh,
But there's no tune to it, and the whole point is that anyone can sing it any way they want.
as long as you know the
So-
lyrics.
Yeah, so the whole hall is just singing it,
In
it-
horrendous
and
ways.
Fred and George just sing it as a long funeral march.
Oh,
And literally, they have to wait until Fred and George finish before they can actually crack on with the hot song, like the ceremony.
I'm glad they cut that out because that's just fucking
Yeah.
silly.
Yeah, it's an awful song. With the so Sorting Hat. For some reason, I know what they do it in the film. They don't go alphabetical order. They just throw the main characters in there.
Yeah, because it's quicker,
Hermi-
isn't it?
Yeah, Hermione, Ron, Gryffindor, obviously. Draco Slytherin before it even touches his head.
It's so good. It just goes slithering.
Yeah,
It's
doesn't
like-
even touch his head.
And his fucking little grin, the little prick, is like, I bloody knew it. I knew it. Oh god, I bet he comes from a right fucking asshole family. Absolute assholes. Hate him.
Did you catch the line by Ron where he said that every bad wizard ever was from Slytherin?
Yeah, I did. Because
Yeah.
this is what, like, in the game, I was picked Slytherin. And the only reason I actually went with it, because I'm terrified of snakes in real life.
'Cause
That's
you're a
my only
baddie.
It's my only fear. And I find out that from Stig, like, oh, you're in the baddie one now. You're in the baddie one now. But in the game, it's like, it doesn't seem to be, I know it's set like 100 years in past, but it doesn't seem like to be a baddie one. But I get that, I get why people would be reserved, because with people like Malfoy, why on earth would you want to be anywhere near him in his common room? Why on earth?
Mm.
It's a fucking rotter.
Yep.
I think it's not like all the bad people go to Slytherin, but the people that go to Slytherin value more selfish
Power.
means of power and more selfish means of getting the job done. They can be quite sort of, I think, quite
Yeah.
calculating without thinking
And they don't
about-
like muggles.
No, that's not a prerequisite to getting into Slytherin, but a lot of them don't.
Yeah, they don't like
Yeah,
them.
I mean that's obviously what Candy just touched on about like the power that tends to come with being Slytherin is why the Sorting Hat's like, are you sure you don't want to go to Slytherin? When
Yeah,
it goes on
this
Harry's
is why I think. That's why I think. I could be wrong. I think Voldemort was in Slytherin, and that's why I think he wanted Harry to be in, because just like your dad, Harry, Slytherin, just like Papa Voldy. You know what I mean? And he's like, he didn't want it. He didn't want it at all, did he? It's like, no,
No.
please no. Because I think that's just because of Malfoy. I don't want to be near him.
well, obviously in the book that's all in Harry's head, but you can't do that.
I
So
assumed.
you have him,
Yeah.
you have him sat there going, not Slytherin, not Slytherin. It's like he's saying
Yeah.
that really, really loud.
Because no one else knows he's saying that. No one else knows
No.
he's saying that. I assumed that, but
Yeah.
the hat's cool. The hat is cool.
Mm.
I
I
think
like
at that
it. Who's-
moment as well, and it's trying not to skip ahead, but from that moment, choosing Gryffindor over Slytherin, Harry chooses his fate,
Yes.
and you'll get to that.
Yep. And it was on about bravery and which it suits Harry's, what I know about Harry's personality now, currently. Like, he is a actions before thoughts kind of guy. Like, there was the other one, the Ravenclaw. They seem like the academics, the proper like bookworms, and the badger one. What's that one?
Hufflepuff.
Hufflepuff. They just seem like they just want to party. It's just, I mean, they want to eat and party.
They're like
so-
they're like the kind of.
Stoners.
But that's why everyone's like, well, like a lot of people say, well, why is Hermione not in Ravenclaw because of her?
It makes more sense. I thought she would have been. Because
But
there's still
the
mixed
hat-
classes, don't there? There's still mixed
Yeah,
classes.
but the hat
regardless.
knows. The whole point is the hat knows the potential within somebody, and
Yes.
like we get that with why is Neville? Would you class him as brave? No, you probably you called him a doofus. He's kind. He's more of a Hufflepuff, surely.
He's still my boy, though. He's still my boy.
But the end of the film,
The hat sees
but
something in him.
that's- Yeah, exactly, and we see that at the end of the
Oh,
film.
and he gets the points, doesn't he, at the end? That's why he's my boy. Yeah, my boy, Neville. I'm rooting for Neville. Love that guy.
Right, so from this point, they have the feast, and then they're sent off to their dormitories. We
Yep.
get to go into the Gryffindor Tower for the first time.
It's all cool.
Yep. And then
Dawn French is there.
No, she's not Dawn French.
I thought it's
Isn't
Dawn
it
French,
Mrs.
isn't it?
Bouquet? is eventually, but I think it's Mrs. Bouquet, isn't it? To begin with?
I was literally sat when my wife went, it's Dawn French. Look, I'm
It's
like,
not
oh,
Dawn
is it?
French.
Your wife is
but
wrong.
I'll let you in on a little secret. It turns into Dawn
Oh, that's why
French.
she said it. She future spoiled me. How dare she? Yeah, 'cause she said-
Elizabeth Spriggs is the fat lady.
Oh,
So
I thought
she's been in a lot of things like Midsummer Murders and Poirot and things like that.
So she becomes Dawn French then, yeah. That's why my wife got it wrong. Bless her. She tries because she knows that she knows my mission now. She's not trying to spoil it for me. But I was still writing notes at that a little bit, so I'd looked up and went, "Oh, was it?"
Yeah.
she knows.
So
She knows I really like Dawn French.
So I think Carrie has a little moment here, doesn't he? Like he's like, you can see how happy he is to be here, and then we kind of go.
He's
into
got a
the
comfy
next...
bed.
Yeah, big four-poster bed.
An actual bed. This is another thing as well. So I don't know how it works. It's magic. I know that. There don't seem to be many people in these dormitories. I was just so many multiple levels for different years that we just don't see them. Is that how we're led to believe?
It's just you don't really see him. You just
magic, innit?
You just follow.
We're
Harry
focusing on the main guys, aren't we? I'm cool with that. It doesn't take me out of the thing. I was just like, hang on, how many people are in this year? But it don't matter, does it?
It's not even the year. It's like the whole house.
Yeah.
The whole
But
house.
like,
Have that common room.
if every student was in that hall then from that secondary school, which it technically is a secondary school, like a high school or a college, there's not many people that go there. If that was the whole school in that hall.
Yeah, everyone in that hall, that's the whole school.
It's not as many. It's not. There was more in my high school. I can tell you that much.
Yeah.
A lot.
I
more.
think that's the whole point, is that the wizarding world isn't actually that big because not everyone's born with it.
Yeah, exactly. It's very close. I like that because I kept seeing as I'm watching it, and I made notes of it. I kept seeing this one guy just never spoke in the whole thing, but he was just he was a Gryffindor guy because he had the red on. And he was always coming past and always behind him in class or near him in class. And he was just talking, not talking, but like that. And you start to recognize face, and I like that about it. You feel like you're part of that class. You're definitely following Gryffindor in my head.
They do keep a lot of the extras that are behind them throughout the series.
You get used to them. You get used to
them,
seeing them. It's really. I kind of like that about it. I was like, oh yeah, he's there again. Because at first I was like, watch him. He's just a guy in background. I don't know. I didn't even have a name. I was like, watch him. He'll come back, and he kept coming back. He's just in the background.
Yeah, and I can't exactly, if I'm being honest, remember the timeline of the lessons, but we have obviously a transfiguration lesson with McGonagall.
The potions one.
We have a potions one, which is where we kind of first meet Snape.
We've missed a bit as well. An important bit of the first dinner is when he looks at Snape, or when Snape looks at him. Is Scarlet.
Oh yes, he does. Yeah,
he goes
yeah,
because he's a baddie.
When he looks at Snape,
and Snape is a horrible bastard in the potions. He's horrible in Mr. Potter, celebrity or whatever.
Yeah,
I love Alan Rickman so fucking much.
Malfoy sat there with a little grin on his face.
Yeah, but he doesn't seem like he likes him either. It doesn't seem like he likes any kids whatsoever.
Well, he doesn't like kids at all. But yeah, it's like he purposely wants to show Harry up.
Yeah.
Like, he ignores Hermione because she knows the answers. Because she knows the answers to everything.
Yeah, she's putting her hand up, sir, and he's like, anybody else? I love him. He's brilliant, but he plays a baddie really well, and he's just a nasty piece of work. I thought he was the big bad me. I mean, he might still be.
Yeah, we start with our broomsticks lesson, flying lessons.
And Harry takes to it like a duck to water.
Yeah. It's in his blood. It's in your blood.
Yes. Yeah. He's really good, isn't he, on the brooms?
Yes. So, Neville, Doofus Neville.
I love him.
Gets himself injured again, drops his remember all. And Malfoy nicks off with it, and Harry chases him.
Because he thinks before he acts before he thinks.
Yep. Malfoy throws the remember all. Harry catches it in front of McGonagall's office,
and she's like,
Then, yeah. And I hate this moment in the film when he lands and all the little kids run up to him and they're all like,
"Oh yeah,
yeah!" I'm like,
There's actually a
it's
few moments like that in this
so
film as well.
In year 7, I scored the winning penalty in our inter-tutor football competition, and all the kids ran at me like that. And it gave me so much nostalgia. So don't say you hate that. It's a beautiful moment.
I hate it. I hate it so much. It's so cringe.
Kids are cringe, mate. They will cheer or beat anyone up. They're horrible creatures. I'm with Snape. I'm on his side. Fuck him. Fuck them all. Apart from Neville. He's my boy. You're my boy, Neville.
Yeah, so
If he's
McGonagall
listening to
comes, takes Harry away, and goes and gets Oliver Wood, and she says, "I've found you a seeker."
And is he the captain of the cribbage thing? Is he the captain?
Yes.
I'm never going to laugh when you say something wrong.
It's all right. It's fine.
Quidditch.
I like in the books that when
Quidditch.
McGonagall sees him, he
Quidditch.
thinks he's in for a right bollocking, and she drags him off, and she says she's looking
Yeah.
for wood. Looking for wood like he's about to get
She does
beaten.
say- I will laugh at it. I'm like, oh, she's like a nun. Oh, she's an old school nun. This one, she's gonna whack him with a reed
Yeah.
stick or something. But no, she mentions that he's the youngest position or whatever they've got in that
Youngest
sport.
seeker in...
That's it.
Yeah, Ron says you're the youngest seeker in Hogwarts since for 100 years.
For a long time. Because
Yeah.
I don't know this sport because it's not in the game at all.
It will be in DLC though, apparently.
Yeah, apparently so.
Interesting, like, again, in the books, first years aren't allowed to have their own broom or take part in
Yeah.
Quidditch. So McGonagall
Yeah,
bends the rules a little bit to get Harry on the team.
I wondered, like, because she was making, in the film, she was making such a big deal of, we don't normally do this kind of thing, do you know what I mean? So I wondered if there was some, like, background to it, like, yeah, you're not old enough yet, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. They could have literally done a line of dialogue that had just filled that out for me. Don't know why they cut that out.
After Ron's mentioned about him being the youngest seeker and everything, the staircase changes and changes path for them.
Yes.
So
Yes.
this is what ends up putting them on the 3rd floor, where the students
Yes.
were forbidden to
Better
go.
plot.
Yeah, which we forgot to mention. Sorry, that Dumbledore said that
Yeah.
no one's allowed to go on the 3rd
Don't
floor.
go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and they
no one's allowed
discover
in.
the 3-headed dog named Fluffy.
Yeah. That surprised me. Like, this is a school, right? With children. And they've got a Cerberus upstairs.
But he's protecting
that's-
something.
Yeah, and that's exactly what Hermione mentions, doesn't she?
Yeah.
Like, he's a guard dog, literally. Like, in every facet of the word, he is a guard dog. He's guarding something. Because the look and he's like laid on top of like a panel or a door or something. Like a, yeah.
So in the book,
and then they're
Neville,
just-
is,
and
Neville
then-
is
then-
with them at this point.
Oh, is it?
Neville's also
See what
there.
I mean? More Neville would have been better in this film. But yeah, then it's like it forgets that little bit, and then it goes on to we're going to Quidditch. It's like that bit just happens. You know what I mean? But that's what this film does really well. It inserts little nuggets of plot in between set pieces in a really good way. The pace is bang on.
What actually sets them there in the book is that Malfoy tricks them into a midnight duel. So
What do you mean duel? Like a magic duel? Like
a magic, like a duel between two people. Yeah. So that's why Neville's there, because he goes to try and tell them to try and stop it, or like because they're sneaking out of bed at night, you're not allowed to. And so that's how they end up there by mistake. 'Cause they have,
right.
Malfoy's
rather
tricked
than
them.
the stairs just plot.
Yeah,
the plot
told
stairs.
them, told the teacher, so they have to run, and they find the way there by mistake, rather than the actual castle just taking them to the 3rd floor.
Yeah, there is an off the collar like discussion when they first enter the school that the castle changes a lot. It changes. Things reveal to you what they need to be, and stairs. You can see the fucking stairs moving all the time while people are on them.
Yeah,
I'd be pissing annoying that, wouldn't it?
yeah.
I'm late for class. Oh, for fuck's sake! And it just starts moving because you fall off that stairs, you're dead. That's a tall building. That's a big old building.
Right, and then I think
Quidditch.
Quidditch comes next. So what
Does it?
happens now is we have the Charms class with
Yes.
Wingardium Leviosa.
Not what did she say? Not Leviosa.
It's not Leviosa.
Leviosa. I wrote that down. I liked her from that moment. I was like, oh, I'm banging to her now. She's brilliant.
Yeah,
Dean
and
Thomas blows himself up for the second time in the film.
Yeah, that's him. That's the guy. Dean Thomas. This kid. This
thought it was
little
Seamus
Irish
that-
kid. It's a
Is
little
it
Irish
Seamus?
kid.
It is Seamus, you're right. Seamus.
Whoever it is a little Irish kid, and he's like, oh, top of the morning, he's one of them, and he's always blowing himself up.
Unintentional pyromaniac.
Yeah.
He's not as good as Neville, but he's there. He's close. I like him. I'd be mates with him, but I'm all about Neville, me. I'm all about Neville.
Yeah, see, he's one of those characters that throws random lines in that like trying to help expand the world. Where he says, "Oh, my ma's a wizard, my dad's a muggle," and it's just there for you, the audience, to understand these terms. And there's like people that are half and half. There's people that are pure bloods,
and they've got slurs and stuff, haven't they, about them?
Yeah, you'll find that
actual
out later.
slurs. Yeah.
Yeah, but then
it's
Ron,
awful.
because he's taking the piss out of Hermione, like as she walks out, she hears him and she ends up going off and crying in the girls' bathroom for the rest of the day. But it happens to be, but the troll is released into the dungeons and they go back and rescue her. We have a little set piece with them fighting a troll in the bathroom.
I've got to say, every set piece in this film is fantastic. Really well done. Proper Chris Columbus stuff. The troll's brilliant. CGI is a bit ropey nowadays, but I bet when you first watched it, it's like, and he gets a fucking wand up his nose. It's cool.
That's all in the book. That's all in the book as well. Like that.
It's so cool.
That set piece is pretty much word for word.
I know it. I know it kind of explains it later on, but I was like, why the fuck is the troll running loose? But it gets explained.
Yeah,
I like it. I like it a lot.
I think this is where, at this point, because it does say in the book at this point, Hermione, it's like that's the moment where they become friends. Like like at that moment they're inseparable. They're inseparable. Like so
they start studying together and stuff.
Yeah,
and hanging.
Yeah. And then we have this is the Quidditch match. So because
love this bit, I love it so much.
So this is the first Quidditch match. Harry comes out and does all like seeker shit, and we see like the other lot doing their things. It doesn't go
very well at telling me what's actually happening in this sport.
No, so I mean they do have that little bit with Wood earlier where he tries to explain the rules slightly.
You've got to get the gold flying one.
Yeah, so that
and you just win anyway. No matter what points you're on, you just win anyway.
Don't make any sense. The whole sport makes no sense.
You could be what did he say, like 100 points or something?
Get 150 points.
But what if you've got 151 points just by playing the game? Do they still win if they pick it up? They lose it. I don't understand.
So yeah, if you were like if you get 10 points for scoring a goal with the quaffle in the hoops, if you then if you got 170 points and the other team had 0 for whatever reason and they caught the snitch, they'd still lose.
Oh, because it's only 150 points.
Yeah.
So it only makes a difference because you don't have massively high scoring games like that anyway.
Oh well, you do. That the games can go on forever.
Do you know what it reminded me of?
One game
Aussie
went on
rules
for 3
football.
months.
It reminds me of Aussie 3 months.
Yeah.
Aussie rules football. It reminded me of that because it's got 3 posts as well. Have you ever watched that Aussie rules? I'm like, this is mental.
But it's brutal, isn't it? Like they're on the brooms, which don't look comfortable or safe to start with, and they're just whacking each other off these brooms.
Yeah.
And like
one of them's got a kosh.
When Wood actually falls onto the ground, he proper
goes. Yeah,
he proper dumps on the floor.
Yeah, they have to send him to infirmary or whatever.
It's so much.
He's away.
It's way faster and way more fun than it is in the books. To be fair, they don't really talk about just how like you said, how brutal it is. And it seems like anything goes as well.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It is a full contact sport, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's no like you don't get penalties. There don't seem to be a fucking referee. It's just...
Well, there is. They don't really seem to do a lot, though.
Yeah, exactly. I like it though, and I could see like a spin-off film of just being about Quidditch. I have to think about it when I say it. His name's shit, boy.
Yeah, and this moment is where Harry's broom gets out of control and he's flying around and it's going nuts. Snape's they think Snape's doing the incantation on it, and so Hermione runs across, sets him on fire. Yeah. That's pretty much the same in the book. She uses a different type of fire, but fire's fire.
Fire's fire.
Yeah, and then Harry sees the snitch and he catches it, but catches it with his mouth.
Yeah, I didn't expect that.
So
it's cool.
I do not like the acting in this bit.
It's
don't
a bit
like-
it's, yeah.
Like if you caught it in your mouth, you just be like and spit it out, wouldn't you? You wouldn't be like.
I mean, if it was kind of
Yeah.
wedged down your throat, you might.
What if
I know,
it's
but
flying
like, if
about
it's
in
wedged
his
down
head,
your
though?
throat, if it's wedged down your throat, you'd be like, you'd be
Yeah.
whacking you. You'd be, yeah. But he's kind.
But is it flying about in his cheek? So we don't know. Could be going.
Yeah, it could be like a little wasp in his mouth.
Yeah, I like it though, and kids were laughing. Everyone in living room when we were watching it, we were all having a great time.
Yeah.
It was good.
So that ends that. Harry's the hero, and then the next scene we see is them talking to Hagrid about Snape being the one that was trying to get him off the
It
broom.
was seen doing it.
Yeah,
It was
and
like,
Hagrid's like, no, he wouldn't do that. Professor Snape's one help him protect the Philosopher's Stone, and that's
And they goes, what?
We should
Like,
Yeah.
talk about
everyone
that.
goes, what?
yeah, shouldn't have said that.
And I was like, not the Sorcerer's Stone,
No, the Philosopher's Stone.
because that's what the title was called on my version. Stupid Americans.
And no, I'm getting a bit mixed up here.
It don't matter if you mix it up because these are just plot beats, aren't they? It don't matter if you mix it up.
because
It's
they're
fine.
going because this is the point where they find out about Nicholas Flamel.
Flamel, yeah, because the
And
read
then
it.
it's when they go, and then when so this is the point where they find out about Nicholas Flamel,
Yep.
and what Fluffy's guarding something with
That's
a
it.
potion, and
Hagrid
then
drops
and
them in
that
it.
sets them off to go look out for who Flamel is, and then Hermione says, "Well, over Christmas, check the restricted section of the library."
Yes.
Yeah, and then we have Christmas, and Harry, like, the first time ever, gets Christmas presents.
Oh, I love that. I love that. He gets a fucking really overpowered item. He
Mhm.
gets a cloak that makes him invisible. And I'm like,
Yeah.
whoa, that's end game shit. That is proper like, this is it. I'm done. There's nothing's going to stop me. That is such a powerful item. I'm like, jeez, you can't just get some. Who gives it him? He just turns up. I thought it was Ron's mum. I was like, you guys are being so fucking quiet. I don't like it. That is like a fucking. That's like the ultimate thing. It's a fucking cloak that makes you completely invisible. He does. At some point in the film, he does sneaking and he sees Snape with the turban guy, and Snape
Girl.
almost sees them, doesn't he? Almost senses them.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good, this film. Sorry to a variant lead, but it's really good. It's really fucking good.
So we're at this point.
I know. I don't know if it's this bit, but I know that when they go to Hagrid, he's having a dragon.
I don't believe that in the book Harry sees Snape with Quirrell.
Oh, right.
From what I remember, it's as Harry's getting away. So he's in the restricted section, and he
Yeah,
gets
'cause
chased
that's how they
out.
find out about Flamel.
And he gets chased out by no, Hermione figures that out. He
Oh, is
gets
it?
chased out by what's his face, Mrs. Norris.
The
Filch.
caretaker.
Filch, yeah.
Is he actually called Filch? That's a sex act.
No, that's
No,
Felch.
that's Filch.
Oh, is it Felch? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. Ooh, that's
Filch.
close. That's close.
Filch is a squib, by the way, Oodles. A squib.
What the hell's a squib?
So there's another one for you. A squib is someone born into a magical family that possesses no magical powers.
Oh, so it's like his mum and her were a wizard, but he's not.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Which you would
awful.
think would be
The
more
poor
common
bugger. I
than it
feel sorry
actually
for him
is.
now. You what? Say that again.
You would think that would be more common than it actually is, given the amount of wizards there are. You'd
I
think
bet
there'd
it
be
is.
more
We just
squibs.
don't see it because we're just in the little circle of that school. I bet.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's why.
imagine
That's why he's a bit of a miserable, like, nasty
because
bastard.
it's sad, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I bet there's like squib support groups and everything. And I'm like, it's not our fault. We were born like this. You know what I mean? Oh, that's so fucking. I didn't know that. I don't mention that in this. I don't think it does anyway. I didn't notice.
I mean, Dumbledore's still giving him a job in the wizarding world, so
And he's
There's
got a
that.
cat.
he's got
So
a
you gotta
cat,
trust
magical
him.
Got a
cat.
magical cat, yeah.
Yeah.
With her red eyes. But yeah, I believe in the book what Harry hears is he hears Quirrell saying, "I don't make me do it. I don't want to do it again." And then he's like, "Okay, fine, I'll do it." And then Harry goes to invest. Like when Quirrell walks out the room, Harry goes to look into who he's talking to, and he sees a door at the other end open, and he assumes that it's Snape.
But he's talking to himself on the back of his head.
Yeah.
Yeah. Spoiler alert.
Yeah. but I think they changed it up a bit here, so it's trying to make you think that Snape is definitely the film is doing.
They were bullying him.
Better job of making it like Snape is in charge
He's
and
a baddie.
and a baddie and he's after it.
Yeah.
But
yeah, we do go to Hagrid. We do go to Hagrid, and he's actually a dragon, and they get in trouble.
Yeah, because Hermione figures out about who Flamel is, what the stone is. They go to Hagrid, tell him we know about the Philosopher's Stone.
Yeah,
it's got a dragon. Malfoy sees the dragon,
so they have to go into the forest.
So it's a weird punishment, but I do love this bit where
McGonagall's
like,
forest.
McGonagall's like, you fought, and he's like, excuse me, Professor, did I hear you write that? Us four, and she's like, you were out of bed as well.
Yeah, you little snitch.
Yeah,
I like that. She's
Neville
the boss
is also
of Gryffindor as well,
isn't
she? She's the head of Gryffindor.
Yeah, which is why it's really harsh when she takes like 50 points off each of them.
Also, going back to the troll as well, those three, or just Ron and Harry, really beat that troll, and she only gave them 5 points each.
Yeah.
It's just a troll, though.
She's so strict.
Anyone can kill a
Level
troll.
one.
She's like, she doesn't give the points out, but she'll take them away.
I'll tell you right now, right? This moment is when my kids start getting, my youngest daughter started getting a bit scared because there's a fucking like creature, and I'm assuming it was. Now I know. I think it was Quirrell Voldemort eating a unicorn.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's fucking horrendous.
So can we just talk about this? That their detention is to go off into the Forbidden Forest by themselves with Hagrid, who's not allowed to do magic.
Yeah, because he's banned
to
from
find
it.
something that's killed a unicorn.
Yeah.
What?
They know one
Which is
spell.
like, which
They don't. Yeah, they don't. They can't even make feathers float at this point.
it's such a dangerous thing to do. And then there's centaurs as well.
Yeah.
Like big, like daddies, aren't they? Kind of the daddies, them centaurs. They are
So this
daddies.
also misses a bit out as well in the book. There's a bit of a to do with other centaurs. They start having a Barney with each other because they're like, we shouldn't get involved in human things.
There's a lot of
But
centaur lore that gets missed out throughout the whole
That
series.
centaur in this says,
Yeah.
what that creature that's just he's done two of the worst possible things you can possibly do is one, kill a unicorn, and two, drink from its blood.
Yeah.
That's super forbidden. That is the worst of the worst, especially to magical creatures. It's like unforgivable, isn't it?
Yeah. And
So whatever that in my head, I was like, "What the fuck is that?"
yeah,
I just, at that moment.
Just so you know, another scene that Neville was meant to be in.
Oh, why are they cutting my boy out? He's my boy. I love him.
He's meant to be in the forest with him.
But that would have made it. It would have given it more levity. I think it would have made it a better scene. Oh, never
Maybe.
mind.
Anyway, they kind of figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
So they have to.
Because it hurts him as well when he sees that thing, doesn't it?
Yes.
Again.
So they go to McGonagall, who tells them.
So I thought it
Dumbledore-
was Snape. I thought it was Snape doing that. Sorry, by the way, eating the
That's
unicorn.
fine. Yeah, it makes sense at the time.
I was like, "Fucking Snape! Look at him! Alan Rickman's eating a unicorn."
It's wearing a black cloak. Snape wears
Yeah.
black all the time.
I thought it were him.
Perfectly
Clearly.
reasonable why you'd think it was Snape. So yeah, they're going to McGonagall. She tells them Dumbledore's gone away to the Ministry for he's had an urgent message from them.
Yeah.
So they're like, right, well, we've got to do it then if Dumbledore's not here, because McGonagall won't believe them that they've figured out how to get past Fluffy. Because Hagrid obviously let slip that he told someone how to get past Fluffy. So they go off that night to try and get past Fluffy. As they do, there's a harp playing. Again,
Keep
another
them
slight
asleep.
little tweak from the book here is that the harp was there when they get there. It's not playing, so they have to play a flute
To put him to sleep.
to put him to sleep. Yeah. So
It's slight deviation, but I get
but
it.
it doesn't really matter.
Because from this moment on, the film just goes straight to the ending.
Yeah.
Set piece, ending. It's really
So-
cool. Good pace.
Yeah, so there's a number of challenges now. So each teacher is kind of given a put a challenge in the.
Yeah, they've set one up.
Do you know we've missed a whole part out, and I apologise. We're
Which
just going to
bit?
quickly skip back when Harry discovers the mirror.
Oh, yeah.
Shit, yeah. Massive.
Apologise for that. It's really hard to keep track of everything that happens in these
Yeah.
films.
I did
so
put that in my notes as well, the mirror, and yeah.
yeah. So Harry, when he discovers the mirror of Erised,
Yes.
do you know what it means? What that is?
Erised now.
Say it backwards
Let me write it down. Erised.
when you figure that out. So, and what the mirror does is it shows you your deepest, darkest
Desire.
desire. Yeah.
Yes. Dun, 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 dun. I'm in.
Harry sees his parents. In the book,
Yeah.
he sees more than his parents. He sees his whole extended family.
Oh, doesn't it break your heart when he sees his mum and dad? His mum and dad look like
Yeah.
him loads.
They asked
Especially his dad.
they asked the author to be his mum in the film as well, and she was like, "No, I'm not really an actor."
They didn't do much, though, did they?
No, they just stood there.
But you can tell so much. As soon as I saw him, like, that's his mum and dad. And again, I got a bit choked up. He's good as Daniel Radcliffe, and he's a good little actor. He knows how to portray sadness. I don't know what they did before.
Yeah.
Mm.
Action, probably give me a dead arm. Oh.
But he obviously shows Ron, and Ron sees a different thing. Ron sees himself being the head boy and winning the Quidditch Cup, and it's completely different. And then later on, Dumbledore explains to him what it is, and it doesn't do well to look on these, to
Yeah, because
people
you
have
go
lost their
mad.
minds. Yeah, like trying to get what they want from the mirror. It just shows you what you want. It doesn't give you what you want.
He doesn't give you it, yeah. I wonder what. Mine would be just a pile of money.
But you'd never have it.
And
That's the
never
whole
have
point.
it. Yeah? Oh, it's so good. Clever.
So wind back up, back
Yeah.
forward.
Set piece.
Set
We're going
piece.
down to
So
the
so we have the
Ivies.
challenges. So the Devil's
I-
Snare.
Yeah, I love this.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep doing this. I apologize, but
Keep doing
another
it.
slight deviation. In that, they just set it on fire.
That makes more sense.
Yeah, Hermione just sets it on fire.
Yeah, Infernum.
Yeah, and then they do the same set piece with the keys, so that the keys is the same one.
Set
But
it on fire.
Yeah, but there's also we then have the chess match.
Chess match, yeah. I love this bit.
Yeah, so I really like this, and it's obviously set
Because
up earlier in
Ron
the film
is
that
really
Ron's
good at chess.
Really good at chess, yeah.
Yeah.
It's set up that he's really good at chess, so it makes sense.
It also gives him a tactician's mind. So it's not just bloody hell, Harry. He's something else. He's a thinker, unlike Harry is the action. So they've
Well,
all got that. It's a great dynamic.
That's the whole point. Like Hermione figures out the snare, Harry
Yeah.
uses his skill to get the key,
Mm.
Ron
Yeah.
uses his brain to defeat the.
It's a proper RPG, isn't it? It's a
Yeah.
proper, like, you've got your types, and it's
and he
really
knows that he
good.
has to sacrifice himself.
Yep.
And I
Yeah.
like this isn't in the book, but I do like that little bit here where Hermione goes to save Ron, and Harry's like, "No."
Yeah.
It's like if you
Yeah.
move, that's a move. It's a
Yeah.
nice little touch. That
Also,
I loved
this,
it. I was
this
so,
is-
it's so tense.
this isn't anything to do with the story, but in that scene, Hermione looks so tiny and young, like with the little boots on.
They all do.
I
Yeah.
know, she looks so cute. But
I
there's
do
also a bit where, when Ron falls to the floor, a bit of the set obviously like hits him in the face because he
Yeah,
can
it
see.
does.
There's
I
also,
noticed that.
I noticed this is going way back to the
Poor little
beginning.
shit.
There's also a security camera on platform 9 3/4. It
Is
just,
there?
yeah, it just stood out to me last time I watched it.
they can't see. It's fine.
It's magic.
Magic, no one can see.
I
Yeah.
love it.
So, what happens now is that they leave Ron.
Yep.
This is in the book, and there's
Mhm.
another trial,
Oh.
which is the potions one, and this is it's a trial of logic, and it seems really simple. And Hermione just laughs, and she's like, "Of course." And Harry's like, "What?" She says, "Wizards don't think logically. Like this would
They
literally
think we're riddles.
yeah, like they would literally struggle with this. They aren't logical people.
Like the common sense tests where people
Yeah.
think they must be tricking me. No, it's just
Yeah.
logic.
It is literally just this bottle is next to this one, and this one is this one." And she's like,
Yeah.
and they're surrounded by flames, and she's like, "Right, there's 2 bottles. I'll drink this one and go back and get Ron and go and get Dumbledore and the
Yeah.
teachers. You drink this." And Harry's like, "I'll drink this one and carry on."
Yeah.
Obviously, they miss that out here. But
Yeah, because he just ends up going on his own, and
yeah,
I thought this is where Snape's going to be. No Snape.
nope. Comes
It's
to the end.
Dick Turpin or whatever he's called.
It's Professor Quirrell.
That's the guy.
And he's like, Yeah, he's like, who would suspect poor Professor Quirrell? Like,
He was acting, wasn't he? That's not. He don't have a stutter, and
Yeah.
his demeanor changes massively.
and we find out that he's got Voldemort stuck to the back of his head.
Mate, that's frightened the shit out of me. He pulls it. I'm like, what's he gonna do? He's gonna reveal he's got like blonde hair or something. Is he gonna be one of these?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then behind his head is Quato from Total Recall.
Quaid,
Open your mind. And like, I know that Ralph Fiennes is Voldemort, right? I just know that. That doesn't seem like Ralph Fiennes to me.
Oh, he wasn't cast at that point.
Yeah, that point. it
I'm
definitely
gonna
wasn't.
say, I was like, who is this?
That was like, you know how like Thanos at the end of Avengers was just a big
Yes.
purple CGI man?
Yeah.
Yeah, because they hadn't cast Josh Brolin at that point. It's the same here. The design
Ralph
is all
Fiennes.
different.
It's still a cool moment though. It's like,
Yeah.
I was like, how's he gonna get out of this? Because he's doing flames, like, you know what I mean? He's doing loads of stuff, and
They can't figure
I
out how
still
to
don't
get
get-
the stone from the mirror.
yes, the mirror of desire.
Yeah, the mirror will only give you what you don't want to use. So Harry doesn't want the stone for
Oh.
himself. He wants it to keep it away from them. And that's how it ends up in his pocket.
Yeah, that makes so much sense.
But we also missed one of the bait and switches when you said, "Oh, you thought it was Snape." Going back to the troll as well, you see Snape come into the girls' toilets and he's got a cut leg, so they assume that he's released the troll.
Oh,
Mate,
yeah.
I completely, I still don't trust Snape. I don't trust him.
Yeah, because when that happens, when he's like troll in the dungeon, Snape sneaks out the back door, doesn't he?
Mm.
And they assume that he's hurt himself trying to get past Fluffy.
Yes, it's to do. Yes.
Yeah,
Oh.
I'll have to make more notes for next time.
At this moment,
There's
as
so
well, I was
much
like,
going
talk-
off in it that
I was
just like-
talking to my kid, my youngest, and I was like, how are they going to get out of this? And she's like, I don't know. And it's not anticlimactic. It's strange what happened. I mean, you can explain it in better details, and I don't get a full explanation yet, and I'm assuming I'm going to get an explanation further down the lines in the film. But it's weird how, because he ultimately kills him by touching him, doesn't he?
But he doesn't. Does anyone notice this?
That's what I assumed. That's what
Quirrell
happened.
grabs Harry by the
Yeah.
throat.
Yeah.
So it doesn't make
He's
any
already
sense.
touched him.
He's already touched him. So why is it when Harry touches him that's when he starts to burn?
He touches his face, doesn't he?
If
Well,
he's
maybe
already
it's-
touching Harry,
Maybe it's because Voldemort's kind of taking the reins at this point.
Or
Because
maybe it's
obviously
intent. It's intent. Harry were pushing him away, like stopping him.
maybe.
But it's still a cool moment. Like he turns to sand and like,
Yeah.
but, and then the spirit of, I'm assuming Voldemort, goes straight through Harry as well and knocks the fuck out of him.
Right. So, remember earlier when I said how in the book Quirrell shook his hand and how it
Yeah.
made sense? And I made a note about that
Why didn't he die then?
because Voldemort in the book says something like, the unicorn blood could only sustain me slightly, and I had to take on other means, which makes it seem like at that point
He wasn't him.
Quirrell didn't have him attached to his head. He was just helping
yeah.
him, and then between that point and this
He had
end
no
point,
choice.
he had no choice but to take
So
on.
Quirrell was still a baddie, but he didn't have him
Yeah.
on his head.
And then so that's what happens in the book. And here it's just he never touches him. Like he flinches in the leaky cauldron.
Yeah. It's a lot of nuance to it. It's cool.
Yeah. Again, that doesn't happen in the book either. So the Voldemort ghost thing doesn't happen.
Right.
Dumbledore pulls Quirrell off Harry.
Oh, so he turns up earlier.
Dumbledore gets there right at the end, just as Quirrell's like
Right.
about to kill. Like Harry does the same thing
Yeah,
with
yeah,
his
yeah.
hands, but because he's expelling so much energy, he's basically Harry's about to kill himself without even realizing.
Because he's not even realised what
Yeah,
he's doing.
and Dumbledore pulls him off, and then Harry faints and ends up wakes up in the hospital. And then we get the same scenes like we do in the film with Dumbledore
Yeah.
talking to him, explaining what happened.
I do like the exposition you get.
Yeah,
Because I was like, what the fuck's going on? And then Dumbledore just goes, I'll tell you what's happened.
Mm.
I'll tell you what's happened. I'm like, oh, thank God.
yeah.
But yeah.
So Dumbledore fills him in on a few things, has himself like sneaks one of his every flavour bean.
Alas.
Yeah.
Alas,
Earwax.
earwax.
Earwax. Yeah. It's like he's wanted that for years. I've been waiting for an earwax one
It's
for
his favourite flavour.
ages.
No,
my
it's because
favourite.
he ate one. He said he had one that was like a
Vomit flavoured one.
Vomit.
yeah, and then this time
yeah.
he's like, so he tries it again, and Dumbledore actually like prefers Muggle sweets.
Does it? Like a
Yeah.
Snickers?
He
Sherbet
likes
lemons.
sherbet lemons.
Sherbet lemons are badass. Like.
Yeah,
I bet he'd
He
like a Bueno as well.
he offers McGonagall a sherbet lemon at the start of the book.
Ah, and she's like, I'm not touching that shit.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Ugh, it's so normal.
I bet he's got a
it doesn't
pocket full of
scurry about
workers.
in my ears.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we just kind of wrap up, don't we? So he meets
Yeah.
Hermione and Ron. Everyone's like, yeah, I'm all right. You all right? Yeah, I'm all right. Never better.
I think they've solidified the friendship from adventure as well.
Yeah.
And adversity. Do you know what big shock happened to me at the end of this? He had to go home. I thought it was proper boarding school where you stay there.
No, he's
Same,
not going
innit?
home. Not really.
Yes! Yes! You did it! You said it! Oh, yeah.
So that is, again, slightly different. And I think the film does a much better job.
Ah.
So, I said that there's certain things that I think the film does better. I think the ending is better because, Hagrid does give him a book with family photos in.
Yep.
But he never says anything about, you can always threaten your cousin with magic. And he's like, we can't do magic. He goes, yeah, he doesn't know that. So in the end of the book, they get back to 9 3/4.
It scares him.
The Dursleys pick him up. And Harry's like, he says, they don't know I can't use magic at home. Because Ron's like, I'm sorry you're going to have such a rubbish time. It's like, no,
Yeah.
It's like, they don't know I can't use magic at home. I'm going to have a lot of fun with Dudley this summer. And that's how it ends.
No, I don't like that. That's sinister.
I prefer the ending with him just like, I'm not going home, not really. And then just waving. And then,
Down, 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 down. Oh, it's so good.
and that is the
Yeah.
end.
That is Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. My first ever Harry Potter film. Let's chat about what we think.
I think
What do you think?
I'm going to find out again because it's been a while since I watched all of them, but I think out of all the films, this is probably my favourite, possibly purely because it's the one I've seen the most, but it's also my Christmas watch as well. Such a Christmas film for me.
Mhm.
But I wouldn't say it's
There's
necessarily
a Christmas
my
moment in it, that's why.
Yeah. I wouldn't necessarily say that it's necessarily my favourite book, but out of the series. But it's the one that gets you in. The magic
The thing
feels
is,
real.
it draws you in.
It draws you in. You're so full of wonder. You're learning about all this magic the same time as Harry is.
And it's an hour before you actually get to the score.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it explains what... I think it's obviously my favourite Harry Potter film, but it's the only one I've ever watched. I wasn't, not to stamp on you at all there, I wasn't expecting it to be this good.
Mm-hmm.
Genuinely wasn't expecting, because a few people, I've told people I'm doing this, and like, oh, first one's so childish. That's what I liked about it.
It is, but it is a child's film. They get the
kids.
books and the films get darker as they go.
Oh, do they?
So it was the same with the books. So if you were 11 years old when you first started reading it, which I think I was, it just you grow up with the books, you grow up with the films.
It reminds me of if that's what's going to happen. It reminds me of what, like, the difference between The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings. The Hobbit is a kid's book.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah,
The Lord of the Rings, same universe, same world, but for adults.
yeah, pretty much.
Mm.
Certainly the
mean-
last one's a lot more adult.
All right. Okay. I loved it. I think it's fantastic. I think it's going to take a lot to beat that, personally.
I'll be honest, it's low down on my list.
Really?
Is it? Really? That must mean that the next films are fucking brilliant.
I do think there's better films. I think there are better films in the series. And when I read this to Amelia and then we watched the film straight after, I was a
You
bit
think the book were better?
like I struggled a little bit. But then when I rewatched it this week, even after listening to it, I appreciated it a lot more. I don't know what it was.
Did you ever have in your mind that you knew that I were watching it for the first time?
No, I don't hate it. I think it's like a perfectly good 3 out of 5 star film. There's things that niggle at me, and I think CGI is bad, but you got to just put that down to the time of when it came out.
2001.
Mm.
Yeah, and I struggle with some of the kid actors.
I was about to say that. Yeah, it does. I mean, again, something that does get better. But yeah,
Yeah.
the first couple of films, especially the first one.
Do you know
You
what
can
I
tell
found
they're
that eased me into that as well? The fact that I was sat with both my children watching this for the first time, all three of us, and my wife just in a chair opposite us, just smiling away, watching us watch it.
Aw.
Do you know what I mean? And I think that's what boosted it a little bit. It's like she's watched that. She was way younger than 11 when that film came out. You know what I mean? And it's just, I know there's something magical about it. And again, pun intended massively. If what Stiggs just said then has made me really optimistic about this podcast series, because if there's better than that, that's fucking.
Yeah.
Me and Stig we quite sync with his film taste and his film loves. We're very, very on par with a lot of them. So I'm stupidly excited to watch the next one, which is, looking at this, The Chamber of Secrets.
Yes, Chamber of Secrets is the next one. But yeah,
Ooh.
it's just there's some of the adults are all amazing because they already are like
Richard
amazing.
Harris is sensational.
Yeah, and they're all perfectly cast. Like I genuinely look at their cast, the way they cast as adults, and just think, yeah, spot on.
Robbie
perfect.
Coltrane is perfect as well. The Dursleys are brilliant to hate.
Yeah, but the kids just there's a bit too much overacting, and I know they're
Bloody
young.
hell, Harry!
Yeah, I mean Rupert Grint is the best one out of the lot, but like Emma Watson, like everything she says,
Yeah.
it's really enunciated, and her mouth moves massive.
And her
Harry,
eyebrows.
yeah, and Harry when he's like, just little bits like he's like, "Are you telling me that
Yeah.
thing that drank the unicorn blood, that was Voldemort?" And I'm like,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
so
I know what you
wooden,
mean.
and I
I know what you
struggle to get
mean.
past that because I've watched things in the last several years where child actors have been phenomenal.
Yeah, that is a
But
difference.
they
Even
do
Macaulay
get better.
Culkin's way better than these. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And so they do get better, but there are other things like that I struggle with. That's just
I get it. But again, it makes me excited because if you think things are way better as well, I'm like, oh, it's this shit. Because I'm in now. I am in like Flynn. This world, it's simpler to grasp than I thought it were going to be.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not one of those people that's like, oh, I don't like there's too many characters. I want more characters. I want to deep dive into these characters. I want to see this lore. I want to see this background. I want to know what's happening next. I even want to see what Harry does over summer before he goes back to school. Is he
You
going
know,
to scare his
you get
cousin?
that with a few things.
Yeah. And then I want to see him getting back on the train and going, but this time knowing how to go for the fucking
Yeah.
platform. Because like, I'm an expert now. I'm going straight for the train. Let's go. I'm not buying hot frogs this time because I felt a bit travel sick last time when I ate all that food. You know what I mean? I want to see this. I want to see them like welcoming the new year sevens or whatever year they are. You know what I mean? The first years. Welcoming them because they've already done that fully. And they've had a year, a mental year. And how are they going to have another mental year again? Because they're not going to just have a normal year. I can promise you that much.
Do you think that after you've watched all the films, you're going to be tempted to listen to the audiobooks or read the books?
I've already bought.
Nice. I think you'll get a lot
So-
more out. Once you've seen the films, I think you'll
I
get
got
a lot more
every
out
single
of it.
one. I got every single one. Not audiobook, just books. Every single one on my Kindle. Every single Harry Potter, including like there's loads of random spin-offs and
Mhm.
work for 20 quid. All of them.
Oh, that's a bargain. Oh, I'm excited
That is
for
a
you to read them.
Fucking steal that, innit? And
I-
I'll demolish them. I've seen how many pages some of them have got. Like later, I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, the fifth book is huge. One piece of trivia, which I forgot to mention earlier, but I want to tell you specifically. When they meet Nearly Headless Nick, obviously played by John Cleese, we see
Yes.
ghosts coming into the
ghost.
castle. So you see the Fat Friar, you see a load of other, you see Nearly Headless Nick, you see the Bloody Baron, and you see a load of other ghosts that actually don't exist in the book. There's one ghost they missed out, and you'd have met him in the game. Peeves.
Is it Peeves?
Yeah. Peeves is
I
missed
just
out.
thinking, come on.
Peeves is meant to be played by Rick Mail.
Hmm.
Fuck off! What? Why would you waste that?
Exactly.
Oh my god! Even in the game, he's quite Rick Mail-esque.
Yeah, and they did.
It's
and
a bit like Drop Dead Fred, isn't it?
they never used him.
Why would you do that?
No idea, but
It
was
is
a
a shame,
bit of a
isn't it, that
shame.
Peeves isn't in it at all.
yeah,
What a bit of did he survive all the films coming out? He did, didn't he?
yeah.
He's still alive, yeah. Oh, that'd have been a right legacy.
But even like just in the first film, like so, yeah, just a little.
I didn't realise something because why wouldn't the ghosts that were there 200 years ago still be at the school? Because the ghosts. Oh, that's fucking. I thought I'd just see these other ghosts. Because Nearly Headless Nick, is he the mascot of their group or something? There,
Yeah.
Gryffindor. That's why we
Yeah,
get to
each
speak to
tower
him
kind
more.
of has their own ghost, like
Yeah.
Fat Friars.
Because I had a sliver
Hufflepuffs,
in the game. I had a slivering ghost. I can't remember what it was.
the Bloody Baron.
That's it. Yeah.
And
And
is Helena Ravenclaw the actual ghost for Ravenclaw or
Yeah,
not?
I think so. Bloody Baron,
Okay.
Fat Friar.
Fat Friar.
Nearly Headless Nick,
Nearly
and then I generally
I
can't
think it
remember.
is.
Sometime.
Yeah,
Which one's
do you
Rowena
know
Raven?
what,
Rowena Ravenclaw is the founder. So
is
I
she
think
the
it might,
ghost as well?
I don't think
You
so.
guys going into spoilers here?
Well, no, we're not spoiling.
You might want to have this discussion off air.
Yeah.
Don't ruin this
yeah,
for me.
Helena Ravenclaw is the ghost. It's not a spoiler. It's just they're just the ghosts of their houses.
I do like that there's ghosts and stuff, and I like that. I'm very interested in seeing what fucking Harry's going to get next Christmas, because Jesus Christ, he's already got an invisibility cloak. What tops that? Is he going to get fucking Icarus wings? You know what I mean?
That's after getting the Nimbus 2000 as well. Got that as well, didn't he?
Yeah. Like, he's like, bloody hell, Harry, that's the best one you can get. It's like, fucking hell, this kid, I like him. I like him though.
Worked out all right for him, really, didn't it?
Yeah.
He only had to go for a decade of torture.
Right.
But yeah, it's great. I mean, I'm normally at this point we would rank them, wouldn't they? So for me, it's number one. I don't want to know your guys' rank yet.
No, we'll
but
do that right. We'll do ours right at the end. We'll go through them all at the end.
yeah, I think it was a massive surprise. Chris Columbus knocked it out of the park with this. Obviously, I don't know how good an adaptation it is. I don't know that yet, but I'm assuming it made money because
Oh yeah, it made like
It must
10
have
times its budget. Made over $1 billion. But it's pretty faithful adaptation because it's a small book.
is it a small book, this one?
Yeah, things get changed the more it goes on when the books get bigger because you can't fit all of that into 2.5 hours. But
Hmm.
we'll,
Well, my
we'll
plan-
discuss
my
them when we
plan
get
is-
to them.
Yeah, my plan this week is I'm going to watch Chamber of Secrets first on my own because I like to see if it's too scary for my little list, and then watch it with them closer to recording the next one. And it's just nice because I don't feel like I'm gonna get spoiled on this because these are years old films now. Like, why would it just crop up in my life? You know what I mean? Why would someone just? But I've muted a lot of stuff on Twitter and stuff
Yeah,
like
the
that.
algorithm
just
might
in
get
case.
you.
Yeah, it might get me because I've been talking about it and my phone's listening and stuff like that. I'm just, yeah, I really enjoyed it. And like, you know, when one little question about it, you don't have to answer it if you don't want to. Like, so the first film comes out, the second one. What's the year of the second one? Is it the year after?
Yeah.
So every book's the next year.
Right. Okay. And was it a year in real life or a couple of years? How long
It was
did
a
you guys have
couple.
to wait?
The first few films are a year it's one every year.
Was it?
One every year.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay. That's
and then
cool.
and then
That's
when they
cool.
get bigger it starts to the whole thing is,
You've got to wait.
well it's 8 years in 7 years in 8 films spread over 10 years of filming and release.
Wow. So yeah,
So
someone.
they
yeah.
crammed as much as they could in while the kids were so they didn't get too old.
That's that's the reason I asked. Like, 'cause are the kids going to outgrow? But
They
if
don't.
it's a year now, then it's going to be perfect, isn't it? It's going to be absolutely bang on. Wow. I'm looking forward to it, and I'm glad we're doing this. It's really good.
Yeah.
And here we go. This is how we do a spoiler discussion and a recap without being mean about the film. Gadget.
So that's it, our first Kenny Potter review, and I'm glad you enjoyed it, Kenny Actual Potter.
Yeah, I just, I loved it. Leviosa. Love it.
Leviosa.
I love it.
So as we
Really
said
good.
at the beginning of the episode, the first episode's free. You'll find it everywhere you can find podcasts normally. For any further episodes, we'll be releasing one a month for every book. You can find it on Patreon. It's £5 a month plus VAT.
That's it. Oh yeah. See us. See you next time for Chamber of Secret. I have to keep looking. Harry Potter and the Chamber of the Secret. Is it the Secret? I can't
Chamber
see.
of Secrets.
Chamber of Secrets.
Chamber of Secrets. Keep it secret. Keep it safe.
That has
Expelliarmus!
been Expecto Patreonum.
Bye.
Bye.
Bloody hell, Candy.